So let's go to the moment that you signed your agreement and now you want to start your business. I think that for you is a little bit different, so we'll start with Karen. So what was from the first moment that you signed that agreement? What happened after that?
when
you had a party.
Sign that agreement and let's go. So we get a really good outline of the different steps on how to get our business up and running. A really good
they gave you that outline.
Yeah, a little boilerplate on the steps on getting started, and they've got lots of experience behind them. So they've started up offices before, and they give you the guidelines for that, and as well as the support and a coach to keep you going on the right track and to be a support and ask questions for you on the different steps and the timelines that things need to happen when opening up a franchise. For a company.
So what was those steps? Let us know a little bit about those steps that you went through.
Well, the steps start with getting a license, getting a business license, your corporation.
Do you need any special thing to get that license, or anyone can easily get license? Or because you are part of a franchise, does it help?
So there's different licenses that are involved. And one of them is, and it varies from state to state as well. There might be certain licensure requirements in different states. Just getting your company together, that's a step as well. If you have to decide if you want to be an LLC or a corporation, and getting those ducks in a row as well. And then also the type of care that you would like to provide and the requirements. Comfort Keepers usually steps us in to starting off with companion care and then going to the next step, providing personal care as well. So even just getting up your office up and running, finding office space and finding your caregivers and how all these different elements to get your business going, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And
exactly. Yeah. Well, I think one of the most important things is that if you hire that caregiver and you don't have the customer, you have to pay them salaries.
Right,
and if you have customers, you don't have caregivers. So how do you manage that part?
Right. So, there's a fine dancing step on how to do that. And corporate is able to assist you on that, and also hiring your office staff and what you need, and also doing your sales as well. You have to be out there and making yourself visible.
And so Comfort Keepers give you guidelines on how many caregivers to hire right now, how much put on sales, and how do you balance in this way?
Right, yeah, the ratios, the benchmarks, and a lot of the formulas, basically a lot of the formulas to get you up and running, and the expectations. This is what a franchise should look like after 6 months, or this is what a franchise should look like after a year, and different benchmarks, so you know how you're doing and what you need to improve. And
whenever you have a problem, you just call them and they're there.
Not only call them, Sarah, it's even more than calling. We have regional directors that actually work with you and come out where you're visible. And what's nice is that also Comfort Keepers, we have other franchise owners. We work together and bounce off ideas, and you have a community. You have a community to work with. If you want that to happen, it's open to you.
So what was your experience, Chris?
Well, it does. Even though I purchased an existing franchise, my experience, what I got from the franchisor really did mirror a lot of what they offer to a beginning, someone who's starting something from scratch, and all the way down to, there's an itemized list of what you should have to fit out your office, how you should find office space, what you need in terms of a computer, where support with vendors who can provide you those kinds of things, what you need with respect to a scheduling system, because you have to have something that keeps track of where your clients are, where your caregivers are, when your caregiver's supposed to be at a client's home, accounting software, vendors who can help us set that sort of stuff up, vendors who can help you up with HR things because you have employees. You have to be aware of HR laws and those kinds of things. As Karen alluded to, in some states, in order to provide this service, you have to be licensed. For example, in California, there's a new licensure law that went into effect January 1st. In Arizona, there's no licensure required. In many states, there's no licensure required, but in most states, there is already licensure required, and if not, they're moving towards it. Our parent franchisor was, for all of the owners in California, was instrumental in helping us comply with the law. Weekly meetings saying, this is what needs to be done now, today, this is the paperwork, this is what your paperwork should look like for your office, and this is what you need to do to get it in. In acquiring my new offices, there's a separate directors and coaches within the Comfort Keepers corporate organization for people who are buying existing franchises. So there's a special level of support because the needs are a little bit different. The basics are the same. You have to have all of those pieces, physical stuff and systems in place to make everything work. And the checklist is still the same. You have to be sure all of those things are in place, even if it's an existing franchise, because that existing owner might have learned how to do things or done things in a certain way that you might need to change. You might need to adapt, or want to be sure that if it's on the checklist that it's there, or if it's not there, know how you're going to get that taken care of. So a great deal of support to me in terms of the transition that I had in transitioning the business from the former owners to me. Regional directors, business coaches, and everything, any question I had, if I wanted to call Dayton and ask them something, there's always somebody there who's willing to take the phone, nights and weekends even.